Hello student, today we are going to discuss about the meninges, ventricles and the CSF. They all are the part of the central nervous system. So first is objective. In this objective or in this lecture we should able to understand the ventricle of the brain and also able to understand the types of meninges and its function, and also you should able to understand the cerebrospinal fluid and its properties, composition, formation, flow and its function. So first of all, the meninges. So what is meninges? The brain and the spinal cord are completely surrounded by the three layers of tissues called meninges, and it's lying between the skull and the brain and between the vertebral foramina and the spinal cord. Named from outside inward, they are the dura mater, arachnoid mater and the pia mater. So first is dura mater. So the cerebral dura mater consists of two layers of dense fibrous tissue. The outer layer takes the place of the periosteum on the inner surface of the skull bone, and inner layer provides a protective covering of the brain. There is only a potential space between the two layers, except where the inner layer sweeps inward between the cerebral hemisphere to form flex cerebri. Okay. Next one is arachnoid matter. So arachnoid matter, this is a layer of fibrous tissue that lies between the dura and pia mater, and it is separated from the dura mater by subdural space that contain a small amount of serous fluid, and from the pia mater by subarachnoid space which contains CSF, or we can say cerebrospinal fluid. And the arachnoid matter passes over the convolutions of the brain and accompanies the inner layer of dura mater in the formation of flex cerebri, tentorium cerebelli and the flex cerebelli. It continues downward to envelop the spinal cord at the end by merging with the dura mater at the level of second sacral vertebra. And next one is pia mater. So pia mater, it is very delicate layer of connective tissue containing many minute blood vessels. It adheres to the brain, completely covering the convolutions and dipping into each fissure. It continues downward surrounding the spinal cord. Beyond the end of the cord, it continues as the phylum terminae, pierces the arachnoid tube and goes on with the dura mater to fuse with the periosteum of the coccyx. And the next one is the ventricle. So what are ventricle? Ventricle, the brain contains four irregular shaped cavities or called ventricles, and it containing CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, or it is communicating cavity within the CNS that lined by ependymal cells which produces, contain and circulate CSF. So how many cavities? The ventricle system comprises, they are right and left ventricle, third ventricle and the fourth ventricle. First is the lateral ventricle. In the lateral ventricle, these cavities lie within the cerebral hemisphere, one on each side of the median plane just below the corpus callosum, and they are separated from each other by a thin membrane, the septum lucidum, and aligned with ciliated epithelium. They communicate with the third ventricle by the intraventricular foramina. Next is the third ventricle. Third ventricle is a cavity situated below the lateral ventricle between the two parts of the thalamus. It communicates with the fourth ventricle by a canal that is called the cerebral aqueduct. And the next one is the fourth ventricle. The fourth ventricle is a diamond shaped cavity situated below and behind the third ventricle, and between the cerebellum and pons, it continue below with the central canal of the spinal cord and communicate with the subarachnoid space by foramina in its roof. And the cerebrospinal fluid enter the subarachnoid space through these openings and through the open distal end of the central canal of the spinal cord. Yeah. Now next is the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. First is the introduction. So first of all, what is a CSF? CSF is a clear, colorless and the transparent fluid. It circulates through cavity of the brain and it's situated in the subarachnoid space of the central canal of the spinal cord, and it is a part of the extracellular fluid. So next is the properties. Uh, when the volume of brain tissue is reduced, such as in degenerations or atrophy, and the volume of CSF is increased. So CSF is a clear, slightly alkaline fluid with a specific gravity of 1.005, and one important point is that the CSF is secreted continuously at a rate of about 0.5 ml per minute, that is 720 ml per day, and the volume remains fairly constant at about 150 ml. So the volume is 150 ml. As absorption keep pace with the secretion, CSF pressure may be measured using a vertical tube attached to a lumbar puncture needle inserted into a subarachnoid space above or below the fourth lumbar vertebra, and the pressure remains fairly constant at about 10 cm H2 when lying on one side and about 30 cm H2 when sitting up. So next is the composition. It consists of water, mineral salts, glucose, plasma protein, amount of albumin and globulin, few leukocytes, creatinine, urea. They are the compositions of the CSF. So what is the function? First function is the protection. CSF support and protect the brain and the spinal cord by maintaining a uniform pressure. By uniform pressure around these vital structure and acting as a cushion or shock absorber between the brain and the skull, and it keeps the brain and spinal cord moist. So there may be exchange of nutrient and a waste product between the CSF and the interstitial fluid of the brain, and the CSF is thought to be involved in the regulation of cranial content volume. And the next one is the formation. In the formation, the cerebrospinal fluid is secreted into each ventricle of the brain by the choroid plexus. These are vesicular area where there is a proliferation of blood vessels surrounded by ependymal cell in the lining of the ventricle wall. And the CSF passes back into the blood through tiny diverticula of arachnoid matter called arachnoid villi. And the movement of CSF from subarachnoid space to the venous sinus depends upon the difference in pressure on each side of the wall of the arachnoid villi, which act as one-way valves. So when the CSF pressure is higher than venous pressure, CSF is pushed into the blood, and when the venous pressure is higher than arachnoid villi, it collapses and preventing the passage of blood constituent into the CSF. So there may be also some reabsorption of CSF by cells in the wall of the ventricles. And the next is the flow of cerebrospinal fluid. First, CSF secreted by choroid plexus in the each lateral ventricle, and the second one is it flow through the IV. It means intraventricular foramina into the third ventricle. And after third ventricle, choroid plexus in third ventricle add more CSF, and the CSF flow down the cerebral aqueduct to the fourth ventricle. and CSF flow out two lateral aperture, one medium aperture, and it fills subarachnoid space and bathe the external surface of the brain and spinal cord. And its arachnoid villi, CSF is reabsorbed into the venous blood of dural venous sinus. Okay. So, the CSF from the roof of fourth ventricle, CSF flow through the foramina into subarachnoid space and completely surrounded the brain and the spinal cord. There is no intrinsic system of CSF circulation, but its movement is aided by pulsating blood vessel, respiration and the changes of the posture. Thank you.